How to form an LLC in New York. When starting a new company, choosing a business entity is one of the most important decisions that you make. For most businesses with more than one founding member, forming an LLC is often the best option. However, creating an LLC can get complicated depending on where you're based, as the process differs from state to state. To avoid any missteps, follow along as we show you how to form an LLC in New York. Before we begin, let's quickly define what an LLC is. An LLC stands for Limited Liability Company and is an uncomplicated business structure that gives business owners legal protection by separating personal assets from business debts. Something to keep in mind is that the process of forming an LLC in New York differs from other states, particularly when it comes to registered agents. A registered agent is the LLC's official contact to receive legal documents and official communications. Most states appoint their own, but in New York, the Department of State serves as the registered agent for every LLC. New York also requires every LLC to draft an operating agreement and publish a notice of organization in 2 local newspapers. But more on that later. Let's start at the beginning. Step 1. Choose a business name. The first step in forming an LLC is to select a name. New York has 2 naming guidelines. 1. An LLC's name must be distinguishable from the names of existing businesses on file with the New York Department of State Division of Corporations. 2. An LLC's name must contain one of the following phrases or abbreviations: Limited Liability Company, LLC, or LLC. You can check name availability on the Department of State Corporation and Business Entity database. If it's available, go ahead and reserve it. To do this, you need to file an application for reservation of name by mail to reserve the name for up to 60 days and pay a fee. Check the description below for more details. If you need additional time, you can extend your application for 2 additional periods of 60 days, but need to pay the fee each time. Step 2. Submit your mailing address. After you've reserved your name, you must provide a mailing address to the New York Department of State in order to receive legal documents related to running your business. As we've mentioned before, the Department of State serves as a registered agent for LLCs in New York, accepting legal papers on their behalf and forwarding them to the LLC's office. Therefore, an LLC must provide a mailing address to the department so that any legal papers can be sent its way. Assigning an additional registered agent is optional. Check out the description below for recommended registered agent services that can guide you through this entire process. Step 3. File your Articles of Organization. Next, file your Articles of Organization with the New York Department of State Division of Corporations. Doing this formally establishes your LLC with the state. The filing can be completed online or through the mail. Note that there is a fee. Check the description below for more details. The Articles of Organization must provide the following details: LLC name, New York address, New York County where the LLC is based, LLC organizer's signature, Articles of Organization filer's name and address. Step 4. Publish a newspaper notice. The next step is to publish a notice in 2 local newspapers within the 120-day period following the LLC's Articles of Organization becoming effective. The newspapers will issue the LLC affidavits of publication, which, along with a certificate of publication from the newspaper, must be filed with the New York Department of State. Note that there is a fee. Check the description below for more details. Step 5. Create an operating agreement. Next, and required, is to create an operating agreement. An operating agreement clarifies the specific duties of its members, which may help your LLC avoid significant legal and operational difficulties. New York law requires an LLC to write and adopt an operating agreement within 90 days of filing its Articles of Organization. An operating agreement describes the LLC's business structure, establishes the individual responsibilities and obligations of the LLC members, and details how the LLC will be run. Step 6. Get an EIN. Before your company is ready to start business, you must obtain an IRS Employer Identification Number, EIN, by applying on the IRS website. The 9-digit EIN is like a social security number for a business and is necessary for paying income tax, filing tax returns, opening business bank accounts, and other business functions. Step 7. Fulfill your other legal obligations. Finally, don't forget to fulfill additional legal obligations. Pay an annual state filing fee to the New York Department of Taxation and Finance by filing Form IT-204-LL. File a corporation franchise tax return with the Department of Taxation and Finance. Obtain necessary business licenses and permits. These vary depending on the nature of your business and its location. Visit the New York State Business Express website for more information or contact a local city or county clerk for guidance. So, to sum it up, how to start an LLC in New York. Select a name. Provide a mailing address to the New York Department of State. File your articles of organization. Publish a notice in 2 local newspapers. Create an operating agreement. Obtain an employer identification number. And finally, fulfill your legal obligations. By following these steps, you can form an LLC in New York. All the websites mentioned earlier are located in the description below, as well as a link to a guide. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our other videos answering your questions to all things LLC.